which, by some amazing feat of whatever...
Heroism,
is actually on time today. Because, yes.
Because Dammit was showing off pretty good today.
Oh, yes. There's been entertainment this morning, shall we say that?
Dammit leaped to the top of the bookcase, which is only about a foot short of the ceiling.
So
these are tall ceilings.
Yeah, that is correct.
So that's bad for several reasons. He has to jump down onto something, and I'm sure he's the scratches in there.
He's the one who trashes everything.
He does.
He's destroyed so much in this house. It's unreal. That's it. I blame you see, because you were reading about, dogs he's my precious boy, he's lovely, he's my bestest friend, and then certain cats.
They're my demon spawn child, but I love them beyond. Yeah.
That's true. It's true. They are demon spawn children. They're just, I don't know. Anyway, Thoughtful Thursdays. That's what we're talking about. So did we say good morning and welcome to Elevensies with Lisa and Anton?
No, we were just lamenting about Dammit.
Were we? Oh, well. Well, yeah. Dammit is probably not going to join us this morning. He seldom does. Gosh, it is dark and miserable
Very, very
today.
dark. We have a change of plans because we were going to work outside today and finish painting the back of the house and all kinds, but... I think we're going to make candles instead because...
Well, I've just had to think on my feet and refill the wax melter, and nobody's joined us yet. Have you got anybody?
I've got 5 peeps.
I haven't got anybody. I think they're all ignoring us.
Hi, Mike.
They've all decided to just ignore us this morning, which is fine, I suppose.
Well, they're all still sleeping because it's so dark.
Oh, well, a lot of people got woken up last night around here.
Yeah, it was a really late storm. Everything is still quite wet, and...
well, there you go. Somebody's
joined. The good thing is we don't have to water the garden.
Again, yes. Again. Gilda's joined us. Good morning, Gilda. Pleasant to have you with us.
All right, so today...
Thoughtful Thursdays. Oh, my goodness gracious me. What are we thinking about today? Well, we had to think on our feet this morning, but I'd like to think about, this is one of those things. Have you ever thought about what thoughts are made of?
Oh, we're going deep.
Oh,
we're diving right in.
Yeah, good morning, Wendy. Well, why not? Why not? It is Thoughtful
Marianne.
Thursday, so let's think about some stuff. And one of the things is... for me, I'll say this much, and I'll let Lisa dig in because I know she's got a lot of personal experience she wants to share here, particularly is how things come to her. But for me, I was trying to explain it this way, that I think magic and science are exactly the same thing, whereas science simply seeks to explain the mechanism without necessarily utilizing the effect. Magic simply seeks to utilize the effect without necessarily attempting to explain the mechanism.
Believe it, and you can be it.
Well, that because it all comes down to energy at the end of the day.
Morning, Susan.
And we said, your energy follows thought, and before anything can happen, before anything can come about, there first has to be a thought. It occurred to him. It occurred to her. That thought.
Right in the first branch of the Mabinogi, it came upon him.
Came upon his heart and mind to go hunting. Yes, he was inspired in some way. When we think about inspiration, that means literally to be breathed into.
And that's fascinating in itself because
it
both Reiki and shamanism deliver energy through breath.
They do.
And then you have the breath of Brahma.
Well, some say the universe is breathing in and breathing out, expanding and contracting. I'm too close. I'm stood on the third rock from the sun in a tiny little solar system, part of the Milky Way, and I can't even see the Milky Way. So, and that's one of uncountable billions upon billions upon billions of galaxies in our perceivable universe. And there may be more beyond that.
I think that it's the nature of humankind
If only humans were kind.
Yeah, right. If only humans were kind. I think it's the nature of humankind to try to think things through and resolve them, right? Now, you could be getting messages from other or spirit to help you resolve things, right? Like some people are clairaudient and they kind of get these downloads. It's not necessarily like the little angel on your shoulder going, "Oh, Lisa, don't touch the stove, it's hot." It's like a concept that is understood. You kind of hear maybe words or things like that. You could be clairvoyant.
See stuff.
Clairsentient.
Know stuff.
There's all kinds of different clairs. If you go Google them, I think there's probably like I don't know.
I wager there's almost as many Claires as there are Mansies.
Right?
It's just, and the two are strangely connected.
But I think that it's humans' nature to try to figure it out, right? Like imagine ancient man and the sun and the moon.
Well, if you're remotely observant, you're going to start noticing stuff in your environment, aren't you?
You're going to start noticing patterns.
Ooh.
But you're going to have to make some explanation for this silvery thing in the sky that dies for 3 days, and then sometimes it lights your way at night.
Well, I guess, and we could look at this as sort of like representative sample size, Yeah. If we take 10 people, just a random sample of 10 people, you might have like one or two that really sort of like think about things a lot deeper than everybody else. You might have like right the other end. I mean, this is just standard deviation. Right the other end, you might have like people who are just like so unaware that it's a great wonder they haven't, destroyed themselves to this point in their life. And then you got your bunch of people in the middle who just go, "Oh yeah, you're right, yeah. Oh yeah, you're right, yeah.
You're right.
Oh yeah, you're right, yeah." They haven't actually done the perception themselves. They need to be shown where to look.
Right, but I mean, think about ancient man seeing that moon contract and expand, and then realizing that women's cycles linked to it.
It's the root of the same word. Menstruation, menses, measurement, It's like, whoa, hang on a minute. Yeah, interesting. And there is actually evidence, even though we did have a little argument with our editor when we were putting our book together, there is actually evidence that women will synchronize their cycles with the moon, and it's kind of bizarre.
And each other, yeah.
And
Russell says, "I need a reading."
Well, good for you, Russell.
Lisa, are you booked? I am on vacation.
That's a lie.
Believe it or not. Well, I'm on staycation, so I'm not at the shop for the next few weeks. However, I would say that everyone there has read me as their interview. So you won't get a bad reading, although each person's style is different.
Definitely. Yeah.
So Russell, go out onto our website and have a read about people, although I think Mike isn't up there.
We should remedy that today.
And we need to fix that. We're probably going to put him up there today. Because our website is kind of like the poor child. Poor neglected child at the end of the string of 100 children.
Yeah, we need to do something about that.
But I would say that, there are some really fantastic readers, and Rogan is there today, and I've known Rogan since I was 16 years old, and he's fantastic too. Yes. So if you can't wait until August, because you really kind of want some counsel now, he's great. In fact, if you sit down and say, like, the issue is, or have this particular question, he'll dig you some really good details.
He'll zero in on it for you.
So
like
Rogan is there today. Mike is there tomorrow. And then we have, we're there every day. There's readers every day. So,
there is. Certainly is.
But you could go and read about people on our website. And like I said, Mike won't be there till later.
Anyway, we're supposed to be talking about Thoughtful Thursdays.
Right. So, think about, they had to resolve that the moon must be the goddess, although some ancient people had the sun as the goddess.
Well, not of this world. Where do we get into the what is the word? Apotheosis. How does something get turned into gods or goddesses or deities, And it's something that exerts a supernatural effect, if you will, upon us in some ways.
Well, the moon was quite reliable.
And when you start digging in, and we've lost a lot of this, we're so out of connection. There's an optimum time to plant and harvest and perform agricultural tasks. And the moon is really, really bloody good at telling us all about that. in terms of its position in the sky, in terms of its rotation, angular rotation towards us and the Earth. You notice it tips on its axis a bit as it goes through the year. So the more observant, if you will, and perhaps these would be the original practitioners of the craft of the wise. In other words, they have wisdom, they've learned, they can see, they can look up and they can know where the moon is. And,
if we lose you, we're very sorry.
We
may lose internet.
Around.
There's some storm really rolling in now. But I do talk about that in my herb class. I teach a really cool herb class. I've been waiting to be able to teach it in person because I love to cook for it. I make
excuse for you to cook.
Well, I make a beautiful round coconut cake for when we do the moon. But when we talk about the moon and the 4 phases of the moon, we also talk about the plants and like roots are connected to earth and stems are connected to water. So you're planting with the phases of the moon and the signs that the moon is in, and the part of the plant you're looking for the best crop, right? The solents or the potatoes and those kind of things. The root vegetables are all about earthy kind of energy. Whereas, if you wanted flowery stuff, that's a whole different. Susan says coconut mooncake is yummy.
It is. I can attest to that, as can my waist. So so that's for sure.
And we grow a plant familiar for everybody in the class too. It's usually rosemary.
Usually, but not always.
Could be lavender, but rosemary is kind of like the clear quartz of the herb world.
It's a cracking herb, isn't it? There's so many uses.
Sounds like a yummy cake, yes. I think one of the favorite classes that we taught was kitchen witching. We had 3-course meals every time, but I don't know that we can handle that right now.
I'm forward to doing that at Celtica, where you can actually go out and pick your own hedge veg and all that kind of stuff. Berries and just
But I think like again, kind of the thoughts for today is thinking about how you're going to work it out. Right?
Yeah.
What is this that's happening? Why is it happening? Like the journalist, who, what, where, when, why, how. And how am I going to fix this? How am I going to work this out?
I know what you're talking about. It's a dirty word. It's called critical thinking.
Critical thinking, yeah.
Critical thinking.
You get punished for that.
Oh,
but
hey, and how?
But I think if we had adopted this kind of thing, we'd have a lot less anxiety, right? Because people spend a lot of time worried about the what ifs and not having a plan. And I know we've talked about this a lot, but if you were someone who was observing the moon every night after night after night, and you now had to report to your tribe, what on earth is happening? Why is it happening? How is it happening? And how does it benefit or is it a detriment? Then you would figure out how to make the best of what's being offered. Like, I noticed that, during this cycle, this happens, and during this cycle, this happens, and during this cycle, this happens. This is this critical analysis or this critical thinking.
And good record keeping.
Right. And then you could go ahead and put forth your findings and how best to work with what's happening. And the same for being a witch. Look at what you've got, figure out the best path forward, and get on with it, right? Like today, we were completely derailed. We had set up that Mike was going to come here today, and we were going to work outside, and we have a big project
going on. Stuff going on, yeah.
Besides all of that.
It's all strangely connected, but it's all...
Right.
It'd take us forever to try and explain.
So when we woke up, it was so dark, we said,
oh, no.
You're not going to work outside today. So let's send Mike to the store and have Danny come here, and we'll make candles and get on with our admin stuff. So you have to adapt to
improvise and overcome.
Your army stuff. Hello, Pam.
It's not just army. It's a good way of life.
Right,
but it involves critical thinking. Critical thinking.
Now that this has been screwed up, how are we going to unscrew it?
They have such fancy words, don't they? There's another one which is certainly when I was exposed to this kind of stuff. I don't know whether it's de rigueur now or if anybody's heard of it over here, but something called critical path analysis.
That's very computery.
Well, it's not computery. It's analysing the steps necessary and the order in which they need to go, and allocating resources to each of those steps to ensure it all comes together at the right time. That the task is actually, it's a bugger. It's funny how the pollen comes down when it rains. I don't really understand.
So sorry.
That, but yeah. Critical path analysis, but without the ability to do critical thinking, you can't do critical path analysis. You're just gonna, oh well, if we get there, we get there. I haven't really got a plan. I haven't really got an idea of how it's going to go. And so it's necessary to plan. It's necessary to understand what has to be done and to work the route there. And magic uses other stuff as well. It recognizes the ability to use intent. And it recognizes the energy behind that. And it recognizes the focus of that energy, Because ultimately, everything is about energy.
Right.
Everything. And even matters about energy.
Transmute and
Yep. You can modify and transform. You can direct and focus. You can dissipate. You can do all sorts of stuff with energy, and it's the energy that makes it all work. Energy is in everything, and that's what it's about. And
she just wants to put her tail.
Have you ever thought about what thoughts are made of? What are they physically made of? Has to be energy.
Denise, this is Skittle, and she's cute like a chewed up toffee.
Spawn of Satan. See what I mean?
Why?
Because she can. And does.
That hurt.
I think it's the weather, the thunderstorms and stuff, making everybody a bit angsty,
She stomped me.
We're all charging around like nut jobs trying to move the furniture.
Anyway, card of the day.
Oh, should we do that?
Before we lose power, yes.
We're not going to lose power. Hey, let's focus on something different. Here's something for critical thinking.
The Two of Pentacles.
Yes.
All right.
What's your reading for today?
Sometimes you have to adapt, improvise, and overcome.
Bugging me. Did we just say that?
All right. I think that my reading for you for today for the Two of Pentacles is keep your eye on the prizes, right? So whether you're working high or whether you're working low or whether you're working on something that you really want to work on or whether you're working on something that you have to work on, keep your focus and intention on the end result being successful.
You wouldn't be talking about critical path analysis there, would you then? Putting it bluntly. You got to know where you're going to get there and map your route there. Yeah, this does say, and this is the adage for me, is that no plan survives contact with the enemy. Test and adjust, juggle away, do what's necessary. But, come on, this person's got it going on. And to be honest, they almost thrive on this. So, a bit of chaos and unexpected stuff. It can be interesting. I know it's a curse. May you live in interesting times. But better that than to be bored.
Oh, and yeah, we're hardly ever bored.
That's it. And remember that challenge makes you better, Do your best.
You're going to learn.
Yeah, do your best until you know better. Then do better.
Then do better.
And that's the key. And I think this guy's red hat is saying, hey, look at me. I got this. I really do got this. I think people are dropping in and out because I see our views going on.
Well, I think there's a lot of
intertube issues going on. Yeah. If certainly around here there might be.
All right, so we're going to get on with our adjusted day.
Yes, we will. We've got much to do.
We'll see you tomorrow.
We certainly will. And yes, for Fantastic Friday. So that will be good. All right, thank you so much for watching us. Have an amazingly beautiful day. Thank you so much. Please do like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends. We're getting there slowly.
Yeah, we broke 2,000.
Yeah, we broke 2,000 subscribers.
God,
so
my allergies.
It took us years to get to 1,000, and probably So
well,
I think
we've really been focused.
Well, we've been doing a lot of stuff. We're closing on our 100th Elevensies. We'll let you know when that is.
All right.
She'll bake a cake.
And check out our Facebook events because we just announced Karma Points and a tea party for the last Wednesday.
Yeah. Warning: there may be some live stuff going on.
Stuff going on that night.
There won't be. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. Have an amazingly wonderful day. Dodge the raindrops.
Yeah.
All right. And